Sometimes it does that. Ever heard of the film Sometimes They Come Back? You should watch that. I don't even remember what that film was about. Are we good? Tell me we're good. Guys, I know I'm a few minutes late. Well, 9 minutes late. And let's be clear, that's not something I'm proud of. I do not gloat. Switch that off. Are we on solar or regular power? Tell me. Sometimes I can't tell. Guys, I'm not seeing you on my monitor. I'm not even sure if we're live. Sometimes, Facebook sometimes does that. You think you're live, but you're not. Sometimes you're not live and you are live. So I'm just going to check this out just so that I'm absolutely certain that we're live. Joseph Chishimba is watching us from Sully Hall. I'm always grateful when I see Joseph. And who's that? Chitalu Ndola is connected loud and clear. You are late. Loud and clear. Tell me about it. Guys, I keep telling you, you don't know what it's like being me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride, consistent, never-ending, perpetual siege that I will never fully tell you about. Okay? I love that line because it's for those of you that are movie buffs, that is a famous line by Tom Cruise in the film Jerry Maguire. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan, and I've always loved that line because it aptly describes how I truly feel. There has never been a line in movie history greater than that line. And I use it often, and I use it consistently. And I don't mind giving credit where credit is due. Teddy says you're loud and clear. Mark says I'm loud and clear. Thank you. I just need to be absolutely sure that I'm loud and clear on my phone. You look worried. Why would I look worried? I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. All right. That's the thing about Facebook people. They read into everything. I'm here to speak to you. Why would I look worried? I'm talking to you. I'm engaging. I'm discussing this with you. The thing about some Facebook people is that they just want to belittle you for no reason. You look worried. No, we're here to discuss this issue. Okay, guys. Before I get into it, please, if you could do me a favor, share this live and sort of spread it around to people that you think would be interested in this sort of conversation, and let's talk about it. And I have to preface my dissertation. I have to say before I deliver my dissertation, I have to preface this address by indicating that we are living in a different world. Zambia has evolved and we have to evolve with it. We now have cyber laws that every single person has to operate and adhere to. Every citizen has to sort of acquiesce themselves to this law. Now, in and of itself, the law is not a bad law. The act is not a bad act. The only people that should be worried about the cybersecurity or the cyber laws are people that plan to break those laws. Those are the only people that should be worried. Of course, we have to tiptoe through the tulips now. Of course, now we have to walk on eggshells, but that's not so bad because if you compare the landscape within which we lived before and the landscape now, it's two different worlds. Whereas in one world, before these laws were signed into law, people just did whatever the hell they wanted. They said whatever the hell they wanted to say. There was no consequence. There was no brunt. There was no adverse effect. Well, now there is. So you have to be careful. Ala cyber na ileta kanto. Cyber has brought something. So no manga twakola twailete. Twakula tfi. Sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have coughed and I'm sorry I did that. That's where we are. And you know, honestly, really, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that because it is circumference. Malamulo. Imagine a world with no laws, no parameters, no circumference, no boundaries. I mean, Facebook itself, the entire premise, Facebook is built on the foundation of community guidelines. If you do this, that will happen. It's just the way, that's the way of the world, and that's the world we live in. So guys, let me, oh, by the way, I have to make mention. Did you guys see this opulent wedding the other day? Everybody's talking about this wedding. Now here's my take on this wedding. Guys, when you have the means to pull off a gargantuan, cataclysmic, seismic shifty wedding, a wedding that's so huge, a wedding that is so gargantuan that the ripple effects of that wedding are felt throughout the entire southern region of Africa. If you can do that and you have the means, you've got the wherewithal, you have the money, you have the resources to do that, honey, nobody should talk you out of it. It's your wedding. That's your big day. Okay? Do everything you can to be proud of it. And I read a couple of messages. You know, people, no, it's too extravagant. Extravagant for who? For you? Guys, live within your means. Okay? If you can pull off a $10 million wedding, do it. Do it. If you can pull off a wedding that everybody talks, do it. The only caveat, and I have to leave this with you, and I have to tell you this, that marriage is not the wedding. That's all you have to know. It doesn't matter how big it is. That wedding day is not marriage. Let me explain what marriage is, okay? And this is marriage in a nutshell. I've been married 25 years, honey. I know what marriage is. Trust me. Marriage is two people living together without having to kill one another. It's true. I mean, that is marriage summed up in less than 3 sentences. Okay, so, you know, if you're out there spending millions of dollars on your wedding, that's great, and we applaud that, and you should be happy on that day because it is your day. But understand that after, when the dust settles and when the dew dries and all the guests go home and all the champagne's done and everybody cleans up the mess that your guests came to throw on the carpet and the hotel lobby's cleared of everybody and you're laying there in bed with your new wife, just know that you are now on a brand new journey that is a lifetime commitment. Okay? And understand that everything you say, everything you do affects you as a couple. You're going to go through some rough times. You're going to have some good times. You're going to wake up one morning and you're going to look at your wife or your husband and you think, what the hell was I thinking? And then other times you're going to wake up and say, I can't live without this person. I can't live, I can't breathe one more breath without this person in my life. Marriage is ebb and flow. It's yin and yang. It's here a little, there a little. But the core foundation of your marriage is that commitment. If you haven't built a strong foundation, it doesn't matter how expensive a wedding is. You know, the Word of God says, how does a man build a house without first counting the cost? Okay? And once you do that, always understand, and I'm going to say it again, okay? Always understand. Marriage is basically two people living together and trying to figure out a way how not to kill each other. I love that line. I love that line because it is so true. It really is. Anyway, okay. I thought I'd share that with you. Guys, a couple of things I want to talk to you about that I think are important. Number one, I need to bring you up to speed first. A few weeks ago, I posted something on my social media. I referred to Matero as a fake hub. Okay, and then I tethered that, I dovetailed that post by making reference to this false prophet by the name of John General. Now, this is a guy that has run a cult within the Matero community, and somehow he has sort of written an unwritten rule. Tell me, write that in the comments. Write that. Say, he has written an unwritten rule. And this is one of the things that these cult leaders, these fetishers, these medicine men, these con artists, this is one of the things that they do extremely well. They are adept at sinking their nails, embedding their fangs into the political power structure. There's an unwritten rule in Matero that anyone who wants to run for office has to first go through John General's church to seek approval. This was seen during Miles Sampa's last bid for the MPship. Miles Sampa made it very, very clear. And most politicians who used to go through Matero, of course they did this in the past, it's changed now because John General doesn't have the clout that he once had. John General doesn't have the legitimacy that he once had. John General right now is under investigation and is going through a trial for having allegedly raped a woman. So he has no moral standing anywhere. So in the past, there were politicians that felt it was necessary. No, they felt it was imperative. In order to seek the community's approval, they had to first go through John General's church, as if John General rules Matero. He doesn't. He's just a guy. Okay? Once we peel off the scales of the community, once we pull back the curtain and allow the light to burst in, once we get rid of all of that pretense and all that fakeness and all that inauthenticity, and we see these people for who they really are, then you realize very quickly that you don't need their approval. They're not God. You don't need their stamp of approval. So for a long time, politicians did this. Not anymore. You will be hard pressed to find a politician begging, pleading to seek audience with John General. And John General himself used to take advantage of this. He knew that, when they come to me, I'm going to fleece them for every dollar they've got. I'm going to tell them that God has shown me that you're the next MP. Those are bars. God has shown me that you're the next MP. All you have to do is buera tukambe, buera tipange, buera uburesendrama, buera to have a one-on-one meeting. Crooks! These chaps. So no longer. That's not there. So I had posted on my Facebook page, I said that Matero is a hub of inauthenticity. Okay, it is a hub for fakeness. Well, Miles Sampa and his homeboys, including John General, they got their panties in a twist. They were furious. Miles Sampa went on his page and he started talking about how the hell can you say this, Simon? How the hell can you call Matero fake? How can you say it's inauthentic? How dare you have the gall, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to call Matero fake? Well, guess what I did? I launched a poll on my page. I said, what is Matero known for? Is it known for cleanliness or forgery? Fakeness. Bukabolala. Buskerim. 97%. The last I checked, it was 97%. It could be different now. 97% of our audience said Matero is known for its crookedness. Because in Matero, you can get anything. Fake driver's license, fake ID, fake passport, all kinds of crazy fake stuff is over there. So Miles Sampa got very angry with me. He said, well, Simon, you can't say that. So he sort of bunched up with a bunch of boys from John General's church, because, you know, God knows that thing is a cult. I mean, that thing, boy, I'll tell you, if John General was on fire, I wouldn't spit on him. Let's just put it out there, okay? So he got together and they went to the police and they said what they said. Now, let me explain to you how these so-called miracles work. You see, these fake papas, makamaka muma compounds, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen in the suburbs. There are people that call themselves prophets, but they are more ubiquitous in the compounds because of the level of education. It's very easy to deceive someone who doesn't have an education. It's not impossible to deceive an educated person, because remember, Jesus said even the very elect will be deceived. Jesus said that. Okay, but it's easier to deceive someone who is uneducated, unenlightened, which that makes up the vast majority of John General's church. Okay, so what they do is that anytime you hear that there's a miracle of someone that was once crippled is now walking, what these cults and these churches do is that they usually get someone that is not from the community. In many cases, in fact, they can even go as far as getting people from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, from just somewhere on the outskirts of the country, someone that is not traceable. Because if you get someone from the community, that person has friends, he's got relatives, he's got cousins, brothers. It's very easy to track a person, a known person in the community. All you have to do is just ask, oh, uria chibamba uria, ushachina chine adi wale mana. Chibamba, kule mana. Ale enda last week, ale kuntwani, kuchipatala last week. Ale mkutamba bola last week. If you kule mana bufi. We saw Chibamba walk into the hospital last week. He was going to watch a football game. That's not true. So when you speak to friends, colleagues, members of the community, it's very easy to trace a fake healing. All you do is just speak to people in the community. So in order to buffer themselves, in order to protect themselves against that, they have to get this person from some far-flung area, sometimes from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, so that you don't trace. The moment, the second, the nanosecond, that so-called miracle is produced on Facebook. Nishikale na yana wampela transport bane na yana imana ya iwe because you know they usually pay these people. It's all paid. Iwe twala pelempia ulanda tuwalide mana twala kuleta muchechi twala kusansa menshi wala tutuma ele wime wambo kwenda nga yapo afye mpieshi 1 pin 5 isha kwendera 2 pin uyu mutwale ku bus station mushindike ni pandu kuti yashala eli ngashara kuti nimbamuchita interview so wangu mutwale mpa bus station aleya. You didn't know that that's what they do? These shysters? These crooks? You don't know that that's what they do? Of course, that's what they do. It's all a con game. It's a scam. A scam to convince you. You see, when people like these false prophets, when they do that, that is an attempt to legitimize their con game. So that they bring more people in, people that are vulnerable, people that see that and say, oh, okay, now I think because guys, when you're desperate, you'll do anything. When you're desperate, when you're at the end of your rope, when you're standing on the precipice of utter catastrophe, you will do anything. And you will listen to anyone that offers a solution, even if it means someone who deceives you. And these people have no conscience. They have none, no conscience. They don't care about you. They don't. So it's the same as a pyramid scheme. If you can get a few people to testify that you investing in this pyramid scheme yielded sorry. Are we back? Tell me we're back. Some people call me on my line. When we cut the phone call, it means we are busy. That's what that means. I hope I don't lose my train of thought, because sometimes I do that. Are we back? Tell me we're back. Tell me. Yes, we're back. Okay, good. Good. So, when I said all of this, I was saying that it's like a pyramid scheme. It's the same concept. The same concept that these papas use is the same concept that people that conduct these pyramid schemes. They get a few people to testify about the legitimacy of this scam. And then you, the unsuspecting public, you say, oh, if it works for them, it can work for me. Now, the difference is that John General and people like him, they charge you for you to see them. In John General's case, sometimes it ranges from 500 kwacha to 1,000, depending on who you are. They always charge you depending on who they think you are. If they think you're opulent, that fee goes up. If they think you're a struggling member of the community, they give you a fee that you're going to struggle to get it, but because you're desperate, you're at the end of your rope, you will get that 500 kwacha because you want to hear a word from the so-called man of God, when he's anything but a man of God. Okay? Spawn of the devil, more like. So here's the thing, guys. When I posted that, General John Nundwe, that's his real name. I don't like it when I call them by these fake names. And Miles Sampa, they went to the police, and then they said, no, mwewa tinyoza. Akambati, we are fake. Well, everybody knows that. So how are you going to complain about that? And when you say you're going to complain, are you Matero? Are you the embodiment of Matero? Because no, we've come as Matero. We have gone to the police as Matero. As me represent, are you Matero? Are you the physical representation of Matero? Are you the embodiment of Matero? Are you the vicariously? Are you vicariously Matero? And if you are, in what capacity would you be complaining if you say, no, we members of Matero? Anyway, the truth is, if there is which there is, okay, there is a call out, I'm going to go, but I'm not going to go to Matero because I have it on good authority that there's some boys, some youth in Matero that are waiting to stone my vehicle when I go to Matero. So I've already called Central and I said, look, can we bring this thing to Central instead of Matero? Because there are a couple of homeboys from Matero that are going to try and cause havoc. You see, can you believe this is the world we're living in? That a bunch of youth are disgruntled, they're upset because I said Matero is a hub of fakeness, inauthentic. It's like Chibodia. Chibodia is known as a drug-infested hub. It's like me saying, no, Chibodia is full of drug dealers. And then members of the Chibodia community come, why are you calling us drug dealers? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that that's what you do. Maybe. No, but why are you calling us thieves? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that maybe that's what you do. Where's the anomaly? Or as we say on Facebook, where's the lie? Alrighty. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to go, but not to Kabwata. Sorry, not Kabwata. Matero. Did I say Kabwata? Matero. What does it say? It says Matero. Yeah. Alrighty. Guys, do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask me? And then maybe we can. I don't usually like taking questions, but you know, I've got a bit of a little audience here. So exactly, we all know Matero. Indeed. Who is that? Trywell. Hamatonga. Yes. I'm going to leave in 2 minutes. Please just go to Matero. We want to see something. Mwefa bantu ba mapi. Mwefa bantu bere motoka na mabwe. Ama youth ba ku Matero. Basikere mubadia. All the best. Are you ready for this, Mr. Ma? I'm always ready. Come on, guys. Our sugar. I'm telling you, it's one of those things. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Bye.